Chapter 13. Jace Malcom shifted his position, unable to get comfortable on the couch in the living room of his modestly furnished apartment as he waited for Theron to arrive. The Supreme Commander wasn't normally so restless. During his military career, he'd spent many hours just sitting and waiting. A soldier's life was long stretches of boredom, broken up by brief interludes of intense action. He'd learned long ago how to stay calm and relaxed as the minutes ticked by. But this situation was unlike anything he'd ever dealt with before. When the buzzer at his door rang, he actually sprang to his feet and paused a moment to collect himself before opening the door.
"Thanks for coming, Theron,"
he said to the young man on the other side. "I'm not going to miss a meeting with the Supreme Commander," Theron replied.
"This wasn't an order,"
Jace assured him.
"Just a request."
"Coming from someone in your position, they're basically the same thing." Jace nodded. He had been an officer in command of others for many years, but his recent promotion to Supreme Commander had taken things to a level he still wasn't quite used to.
"Come in and sit down," he said.
"Please," he added, hoping to make it seem like an invitation. Theron settled into one of the two chairs across from the couch. Jace couldn't help but notice his choice of seat, facing the door and the farthest position away from where anyone else could sit. "Nice place you have here, Commander. Kind of expected the walls to be covered with all your medals and commendations."
"They clashed with the drapes,"
Jace explained.
"Can I get you something to drink? I've got a nice Alderanian vintage if you like wine, or Corellian Reserve if you prefer brandy."
"No thanks, sir."
"How about some Mandalorian Craigie?"
"Always wanted to try the hard stuff," Theron said. "Sure, I'll take a glass." Jace made his way over to the liquor cabinet in the corner and poured them both a shot, then brought it over to his guest before taking a seat on the couch facing him. In the light of the apartment, he could see that Theron favored his mother's side. He could make out a few faint hints of Satil Shan in the younger man's features, though if he didn't know who his mother was, it wouldn't have been noticeable. "To the Republic?" Theron asked, holding up his glass.
"The Republic,"
Jace agreed, and they both downed their drinks in a single gulp. Theron coughed and sputtered for a few seconds, a common reaction in those tasting Craigie for the first time.
"Want another?"
Jace asked.
"It'll grow on you."
"I'm good," Theron gasped, his face still red from choking on the first glass. They set their empty glasses on the coffee table between them, and an uncomfortable silence settled over the room. Jace knew Theron was waiting for him to speak, but he honestly didn't know where to begin.
"I served with your mother,"
he finally said.
"On Alderaan. She was a remarkable woman."
He could see a change come over Theron's face. He was suddenly guarded and wary. "I figured you knew," he said. "Is that why you picked me for this mission?"
"I've seen your service record, Theron. You've earned this."
"You didn't answer my question."
"I wondered if there was some of your mother in you,"
Jace admitted. "I don't mean to be rude, Commander, but if you brought me here to ask about Satil, you're out of luck. I barely know her." There was a shortness to Theron's reply. It wasn't exactly anger or bitterness, more like exasperation. As if he'd had or imagined this conversation so many times before that he was simply tired of it.
"So you've never reached out to her? Or she to you?"
Theron shrugged. "Never saw any reason. When I was born, she gave me up to dedicate herself to the Republic. I understand why she did it, and I respect her choice. I chose to serve the Republic too. That's why I joined SIS. Making her part of my life now would just complicate things for both of us, make both of our jobs harder. I don't see the point."
"You seem pretty sure of this,"
Jace noted. "Nagani Zhou helped me understand why Satil did what she did. I've come to terms with it. I've moved on."
"But what about your father? Didn't you ever want to ask Satil about him?"
"Master Zhou was my father. He raised me, made me who I am. I conversation wasn't going as well as Jace had hoped. He was dancing around the real issue, and realized he was actually afraid. He'd faced death too many times to count, but here he was, too scared to tell Theron why he was really here. Taking a deep breath, the Supreme Commander decided it was time to charge into the breach.
Theron, I didn't know Satele had a son. I only found out a few days ago when I saw your name in the report, and I asked the director if you were related.
Kind of wish he'd lied to you, Theron grumbled. Could have avoided this whole awkward chat. Jace ignored him and pressed on, determined to get the truth out there.
He gave me your personnel file. I checked when you were born, confirming what I already suspected. Theron, I believe that I am your father.
There was a long silence before Theron finally spoke. I already told you, he said coldly. Master Zhou was my father.
Theron, you have to believe that I had no idea. When Satele broke off our relationship, I thought it was because of the Jedi Order's ban against emotional attachments. I didn't realize she was pregnant.
Theron stood up suddenly. Commander, I'm sorry she lied to you, but this is between you and her. You need to talk to Satele.
That's the last thing I need right now,
Jace replied.
She lied to me, hid you from me. I'm so mad I wouldn't even know what to say to her.
But she'd know what to say to you, Theron said sympathetically. The Jedi always have an explanation.
Exactly. I'm in no mood to hear her prattle on about peace and controlling your emotions. That's why I came to you.
I still don't know what you want from me, Theron said, shaking his head. Why tell me this?
Why?
Jace rose to his feet.
You're my son. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
No, Theron snapped, taking a step back. We're just strangers who happen to share a biological connection.
That's my point,
Jace insisted, resisting the urge to take a step forward.
We don't have to be strangers.
I don't need someone to take me fishing or teach me how to ride a hoverbike.
That's not what I meant,
Jace said, shaking his head in frustration.
I just want to get to know you better. Maybe we have more in common than you think.
Theron sighed and brought a hand up to rub his temples. Your timing on this is really terrible, Commander, he said.
I could have handled this better,
Jace admitted.
I just thought you had a right to know. I'm still trying to figure this all out.
Fair enough, Theron said, his tone softening. I've been dealing with Satele's decision my whole life, but you just found out. I guess it's gonna take you some time to get a handle on it. Jace stayed silent, sensing that Theron was heading somewhere. I have a lot of respect and admiration for you and what you do, Theron told him. And maybe we do have a lot in common. We've both dedicated our lives to helping the Republic. Maybe when I get back from Ziost, we can try to get to know each other better.
Don't worry,
Jace assured him.
We could take it slow.
If we were taking it slow, you wouldn't have dropped this bomb on our first visit.
Sorry about that,
Jace said.
I thought you deserved to know before the mission. Just in case.
The professional soldier in him realized how poorly he had handled the whole situation, though there wasn't much he could do about it now.
You and Master Nostaral are scheduled to leave tomorrow. Do you need me to postpone the mission for a few days while you process this?
Give me a little credit, Commander, Theron replied. I'm more worried about you. Knowing I'm your son might affect your judgment on Operation Endgame.
You don't get to be Supreme Commander unless you can put personal feelings aside for the greater good of the Republic,
Jace replied. Glad to hear it. There was another long, uncomfortable silence before Theron finally said, I should go. I still have some things to get ready before I leave.
Right, of course.
Jace escorted Theron to the door. Just before he left, the young man turned to him. We can talk again when I get back,
Looking forward to it.
Jace answered with a smile. The door slid closed, and Jace slowly made his way back over to collapse onto the couch. His heart was pounding, and his body felt simultaneously wired and exhausted, the same reaction he had at the end of an intense battle. He closed his eyes to take a short nap, and slipped immediately off to sleep. A useful skill most soldiers quickly learn.